Hi, Brett Thurber here from the New Wheel in San Francisco. Today I'd like to introduce to you the ultimate electric bike, the Stromer ST2. We've been anticipating this bike for over a year and a half now, since we saw it for the first time at Eurobike. And the good news is that this bike exceeds our already high expectations of what it would be. It's the best electric bike that I've ever tried. And so today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what makes it so awesome, and then dive into Omni, Stromer's interface and wireless connectivity, and then talk about the components and who this bike may be perfect for. When we saw the ST2 prototype for the first time at Eurobike, we got really excited about Stromer as a company because it was apparent that they were trying to push the category forward and really define what an electric bike could be. And as we talked more and more with people at Stromer, we realized that it wasn't by accident. It's a company that is made up of people who ride these bikes all the time, and they have a desire to really perfect things. And so they took what they learned from the ST1 and improved upon it. And they had a team of over 130 people worldwide working on this bike and invested a lot of money into developing it. The good news is that it all paid off. The ride feel can only be described as magic on the ST2. It's the smoothest, most satisfying feeling electric bike that I've ever ridden, and it really is in a category of its own. The heart of the ST2 and what sort of ties the bike all together is Omni, Stromer's exclusive interface and operating system. It sits unobtrusively in the top tube of the bike, and so it's out of the way and not sort of right in your face, but you can glance down to get vital information like your trip speed, your distance, and your battery indication. There's two ways to interact with it. You can interact with it on the bike, or Stromer has an iPhone or an Android app that you can log into and you can interact with the bike from afar. A button underneath the top tube of the bike allows you to turn on the system and cycle through menus. The screen is pressure sensitive and not touch sensitive, which is important because you can still wear cycling gloves and still interact with the interface. So by pressing the screen, you're able to cycle through different menus while you're riding. So you can see a clock, trip speed, your battery indication, and your assist level. If you press the button underneath the top tube, you're able to get into the main menu, which allows you to lock the bike, set the sensor sensitivity, turn on move mode, which allows you to sort of walk with the bike and have the bike propel itself, and then get into the more advanced menus. Beyond the full controls that you have on the bike, Stromer also has a cell phone app for Android and iPhone that extends the utility of the bike. A few of the key features is a tuning mode, so you can set different ride profiles and adjust 4 different variables to set the bike up exactly how you like, and set different, and so for instance, if you want sort of a commute mode that's really high speed, or you want a touring mode that allows you to go long distance, you can set that all in the app. There's a status mode, so you can be away from the bike and you can know if your battery's charged, how many miles you've ridden, and what's your total odometer reading. There's a map mode, which allows you to see where the bike is at any time. And finally, there's anti-theft modes, so you can lock your bike on your phone, and if someone tries to wheel away with your bike, it will start tracking it and send you an alert, and the rear wheel will lock up, so make it very hard to pedal. Finally, all of these features that I've talked about can and will be augmented over time, because one of the key features from the service perspective is this bike can have over-the-air updates and over-the-air diagnostics done. So us as a dealer can alert you to new updates, and you can update the bike and extend the utility of it. Just like the ST1 before it, the ST2 has a real attention to detail on the bike component end of the spectrum. So you've got top-end Magura hydraulic disc brakes with MT2 brake sensor levers and MT4 calipers, which is a perfect combination for an e-bike. Like the ST1, you've got a really comfortable ride thanks to a carbon front fork that sucks up the road vibration and Schwalbe Big Ben balloon tires, so that you can run those at a little lower PSI to get a comfortable ride, but still have it be more simple, but also remain real solid on the road. The transmission is Shimano XT with Shimano SLX shifting for real crisp shifting. And finally, on the touch points, you've got Ergon grips and saddles, so even more comfortable than the ST1. So on the electrical side, everything is completely redesigned from the ST1. There's a brand new direct drive 500 watt motor, and the key elements to this is that it's now using a through axle, so much easier removal and installation. And the controller has been taken out of the motor and now resides in the down tube of the bike. So so that allows Stromer to put a lot more power into the motor at once without having to worry about frying the controller. And this allows for the performance that you'll feel when you ride this bike. The battery is a new 48 volt, 814 watt hour battery from Samsung. It's the biggest capacity battery we've ever sold at the New Wheel, and it lends to the extremely long range of the Stromer. So in economy mode, you're gonna go upwards of 100 miles to a charge, and even at the top speed of 28 miles per hour, you're looking at 40 plus miles to a charge. Finally, the lighting system on the Stromer has also been reimagined. It uses a similar city kit to the ST1, except the front Supernova light is now resides on the handlebar right in the center of the bike and a little bit higher up, but it's still just as bright as the Supernova on the ST1. There's integrated lighting in the head tube of the bike, and it's a real distinctive U shape. And in between the U is a USB charge port. So who is this bike for? I think what's really revolutionary about the ST2 is that it really spans the spectrum. From on the one end, it has extreme high performance and high speed, so if you just need to get where you're going as fast as you possibly can, you can do that, and you want to make it extremely easy, you can do that. And on the other end, it's so in tune with your riding, so even at low speeds you can have an extremely enjoyable time, so you can ride with other cyclists, and it doesn't feel like this bike, wants to take off on you. You would think that this would be a bike for e-bike enthusiasts, but because of all this, I think it really is a bike for everyone, and that's why at the shop here we're seeing that it's a fight every night about who gets to take the ST2 home. So, there's some particular use cases that make a lot of sense. If you have a long distance commute, this is going to be the ultimate e-bike because you've got the range and the power and the speed that makes that easy. Or if you just are someone who appreciates aesthetics and all the technology, it's also going to be a perfect bike for you. The only drawback is that it's expensive. It's $69.90 as is here, and it does come with a lot, but it's one of the most expensive bikes that we sell at the store. If you have the money though, I think it is really worth it, and keep in mind that we do also offer 12-month no interest financing, so it's something to save up for, it's something to invest in, and I hope you can come in and take a test ride.